Watch as historic artifacts, hidden treasures, or rare antiquities come to light. Some may be for the first time in decades after being hidden beneath the sea, buried beneath the earth, or locked in private collections. Coming up next on Auction Archaeologist. I'm headed to Hollybird's today. My friend Fred called me and set up an appointment to meet Mr. R.L. Wilson, an expert in antique arms and armor. Fred has consigned some very interesting antique firearms with great historical value. One, an Indian Springfield breech-loader rifle from the General Custer's very own collection. This rifle was once owned by Chief Blackkettle. Another unique lot is a Colt 45 that was picked up in 1933 from the ground at the Little Bighorn battle site. Mr. Wilson is going to help research and authenticate these guns for an upcoming auction. Wow, I can hardly wait to meet him. We'll be right back after these few words from our sponsors.
Come to the Hollibird Auction and Show, Reno, Nevada, May 13th and 14th, 2016, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. Bid on antique firearms, Indian artifacts, shipwreck gold, guns once owned by Custer, Black Kettle, Texas Rangers, and other notables. See you there.
55 here, now 60. 55 here, now 60. 55 in the room.
At Technology Center, you'll find everything the big box stores have. A large showroom full of electronics, computers, monitors, keyboards, and all the accessories for your home and office needs. You don't have to leave the area to get satisfaction or repairs. At Technology Center, we know computers.
I know you've heard this before. I will stand on my head. I'll kick my dog's spot to sell you used appliances today. You can drop off your old stuff here when you purchase a new item from us. Call us at 775-682-1994 and ask us about service and parts. Come on down to more stuff. We got new appliances, we got used appliances. We will make you a deal today. Go see Tony, go see Tony, go see Tony. Woohoo!
You have been earning money and tax benefits on your rental property. Now you need to sell. Have you considered the tax consequences of this? Have you heard of 1031 exchanges? Defers capital gains, reduces tax liability, eases financial stress. Let our 1031 exchange experts help. Call today 775-671-2472 and schedule your free consultation with our 1031 exchange experts. Call today.
Welcome back to Auction Archaeologist. And now Mr. R.L. Wilson, famed author and authority in antique arms and armor, will speak on the Black Kettle gun, once owned by General Custer.
Orders of his superior were, his job was to get rid of the Indians, solve the Indian problem. Mm-hmm. And at this point, he knew that Black Kettle's tribe, a number of them were at a place called Ouachita, which is now a national park in Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. And so he planned a surprise attack, and he was leading the attack. All this is recorded in a new book by T.J. Stiles called Custer's Trials. That's considered an exceptional biography of Custer. Mm-hmm. Custer liked to lead the charge in the Civil War. He was known for that. So he's out front with his pistol, and Stiles is convinced that Custer shot Chief Black Kettle, who was standing in front of his teepee. There was a white flag and an American flag, but he still wanted to get rid of solve the Indian problem. So Black Kettle gets shot dead. And at some point, this carbine, which was in his hands at that time, this was his gun. Okay. And then it was taken by Custer's men and ultimately came to Custer, and it went down through several generations of Custer's family. Custer, it's not generally known, but he was an arms collector. He loved firearms, he loved hunting, he loved shooting, mm-hmm. and he was really good at it, all of the above. So he took this gun and kept it. And eventually it ended up in a member of the family who gave it to a gentleman named Richard Reyes, who was a top dealer in antique arms and so on, and who had done a lot of favors for the Custer family. And the gun was presented by this woman to Richard Reyes, and it came from Richard Reyes to his son, Gar
Reyes.
And
Yeah.
that's
All right.
where Gar Reyes decided with his wife, Linda, that the time had come to do something with this carbine. So it was brought to Fred Hollibird and Fred Hollibird Western Americana. And since then, we've been doing so much research that this monograph was published, 56 pages long, that provides exquisite detail. And we're finding that this Sharp's new model 1859 percussion carbine, a breech loader, which means you load it from the back here rather than from the muzzle, is one of the greatest artifacts connected with American native peoples known to any collector or museum. And at the moment, we're not completely finished with our research, but this 56-page monograph is probably going to be 100 pages by the time we're completed with it. And at a antique arms convention in Las Vegas in January of 2016, we met Wendell Grangard, who lives in the Dakotas and has been in the construction business for over 50 years. And over the years, he became very friendly with Native Americans. And he's learned things about this carbine that we had no idea about, nor did anyone else. But his expertise is reflected in a book that he published that was appeared within the last few months. And he has information coming from Monacita, who is believed to have been it was a daughter of Black Kettle, but is believed to have been a mistress of both Custer and his wife Tom. And Monacita, even though Custer killed her father, Black Kettle, nevertheless was concerned that Custer might have some difficulties in battles and so on, and so she had a way of marking his firearms to bring him good luck. And so this gun has those marks on it. And we just discovered that within the last roughly 6 weeks of our research. As a consequence, that sort of thing was completely unknown to other authorities, and we're still researching and backing that up. But another thing that Wendell Grangard was able to tell us is you can read the brass tacks on the stock, and the brass tacks on this gun of Black Kettle's verified the fact that it was his. And that it was something that he, of course, used from time to time. In many instances, the Indians were presented with obsolete firearms. So there's the Winchester, and there are other more modern guns, but why not give these tribes weapons which they could use for hunting, whatever. And the white presenters thereof, the army, whatever it was, the Indian agents, would not like to have them have the latest technology, which at the time of the Washita in 1868, Winchester had a rifle and a carbine and a musket known as the model of 1866, and quite a few thousand of those had already been made. So when Custer has the so-called last stand at the Little Bighorn on June 25th, 1876, the Indians are better equipped than Custer's men. Custer did have, his men had the single-action Army revolver, which was considered the most modern handgun in the world at that time. However, his troopers carried a Springfield Armory manufactured carbine that was a breech loader, and they were using copper cartridge cases, so sometimes after the gun was fired, the case would stick in the breech. Well, the Indians were using lever actions, the model of 1866. They also had the model 1873 Winchester, the famous Winchester that was in the movie Winchester 73, starring Jimmy Stewart. The advantage, not only in terms of firearms technology, was to the Indians at the Little Bighorn, but also the fact is that the numbers were about 7,000 Indians, counting men, women, and children, versus the relatively small number with Custer, a few hundred, counting his auxiliary other members of his troop who were separated from him, and it was he and his immediate command that were wiped out in about maybe 35 minutes. So this gun is of tremendous significance in the study of the West and the appreciation of General Custer and the appreciation of Chief Black Kettle, who happened to be someone you might say was the Martin Luther King of Indians. He wanted peace with the whites, and that's why he had a white flag by his tent at the time of the Battle of the Washita raid from Custer. And the implications, and you study of an object like this, and it's absolutely captivating, and it makes all kinds of sense, therefore, why so many collectors pursue objects of this sort, museums, the general public, even PBS is having programming now that relates to Custer and Billy the Kid and Wild Bill Hickok and the West and on and on and on. And the artifacts speak. All these people are now long since gone, but the artifacts that they own, such as Black Kettle's Sharp's carbine that he held in his hand when Custer shot him dead, are just extraordinary objects of Americana. And I know Fred Hollibird is excited to have this piece available as an auction item, and it's absolutely unique in the annals of the American West. And for myself, as a author and a researcher who loves the West and has since I was a boy, this is amongst the most fascinating objects I've ever had the chance to study.
We'll be right back after these few words from our sponsors.
For over 100 years, Northern Nevadans have slept in comfort with the help of Reno Mattress Company. Hi, I'm Mike Berry. Can you flip your mattress? If not, let us custom make your next mattress. We offer Talalay latex rubber, memory foam mattresses, foam rubber cut to size, water beds and accessories, electrical adjustable beds, and more. Plus, we specialize in custom sizes for your home or RV. Reno Mattress Company has been the place to shop since 1910. Come visit our showroom at 1210 East 4th Street. And remember, if you sleep on it, we can make it.
We know what you want. You want quality custom embroidery and branding from a local, family-owned company that can get the job done at a good price. That's what you'll find at Miller's Jackets and Jose and Associates. For more than 26 years, we have been the go-to local silk screening and embroidery expert. Clothing, caps, pens, banners, and small signs are our specialty. And at Jose and Associates, there's a sale every day, exactly what you would expect from a locally owned, family-operated business. We're located at 950 Glendale Avenue in Sparks. Come on in and realize the difference a local company can make.
Sierra Car Service has been in business since 1978 as a full-service auto repair garage. For minor maintenance like oil changes, fluid checks, engine diagnostics and tune-ups, to more advanced repair like full engine rebuilds, clutch work, and brakes, Sierra Car Service does it all. They guarantee their work and they put your safety first. They are located at 1535 Heimer Avenue and they are open Monday through Friday from 8 to 5. Make an appointment today to keep your car running strong.
Welcome back to Auction Archaeologist.
You want to show that it's not loaded?
Yeah.
It might be that the trooper who had it was in the process of
Reloading.
Yeah, and because that's why it's at the half cock. That's how you turn the cylinder around when it's halfway back.
Mm-hmm.
This was found in 1933 on the Custer battlefield site, so it had been there all this time. And a forensic expert was able to find the serial number 7047. It's marked on one of the chambers, one of the cylinder chambers. It's very hard to read. I'm pretty sure it's this side here. And what happened, the trooper was shot dead, and over the years it got corroded. There's a pin that is how you remove the cylinder. There's a rod that goes here for ejecting the empty cartridges. This pops open to let the cartridges come out. There's the trigger to fire it, and the grips would have been walnut. And the butt plate is probably still at the battlefield site. And a few years ago, there was a fire at the Custer battlefield site, which is now known as the Little Bighorn battlefield. And because of that, an archaeological dig was possible to be planned and carried out. And the writings about the dig, I haven't read everything yet, but one of the things they found was a backstrap. That's what this part is on a Colt revolver. And they found cartridges. Sometimes they're able to take a cartridge and match it in guns that are found in museums and private collections and prove which gun fired that cartridge case. It's just like for the old days with Perry Mason on television, with the rifling and the cartridge that's shown on a bullet, you can identify it came from a specific gun. You can't do that with this because, of course, the rifling is gone. It's all rusted and everything else. But the fact that this was discovered at the battlefield site in 1933, and it's documented in a National Archives publication of some kind, shows that this had to have been there at the time, and it just was never found until many years after the fact. This kind of dug-up is rarer than the actual guns used at the site, because the Indians took all those guns, and those Indian families, no doubt many of them still have the revolvers that were taken by their ancestors, but these families are very distrusting of the government, and what they do is they don't want to talk to anybody unless they know you really, really, really well. So that the fact is, therefore, that these objects have slowly been discovered by especially by Wendell Grandgard, and that's in his book. Now, there is a book that was published a few years ago by a collector, a specialist on the single action army revolvers, and he specifically mentioned in that book about cavalry and artillery Colt guns, a gentleman named Kopek. He gives the serial number 7047 on this piece in his book. However, he did not have the exact citation himself, and we haven't found it yet. So just like with the Chief Black Kettle carbine, we're still doing research on this single action army, but we are satisfied with the fact that it was there at the battlefield site. Also, there are factory records that Colt has kept, and those records are augmented by material that was in ordnance records, and a serial number 7047 is one of the numbers known to have been issued to Custer troopers that were at the Little Bighorn. Therefore, that documentation is equally of significance. Dug-up guns like this are found occasionally in the West. For, say, there's probably 2,000 or more Patterson Colt guns, of which the factory built a total of around 5,000. But there's only about 3 of that number that were found as dug-ups. One of them is in a museum in Oklahoma, in Bartlesville, called the Woolarock Museum, a collection of Philip R. Phillips, whose uncle and father founded Phillips 66 Petroleum. And he treasured that revolver, which had been found in Gold Rush country near Grass Valley and so on in California. He treasured that as much as most of the other guns that he had that were fully functional. This type of object is also very much like a piece of sculpture. One of the reasons that the single action Colt and the Sharps carbine were so popular is that they are beautiful design and highly practical in the cutting edge technology of the day. And gun designers like Samuel Colt were really artists.
We'll be right back after these few words from our sponsors.
Johnny Gunn spent years on the LAPD as a well-respected intelligent cop. When an internal affairs investigation involving a close friend causes him to give up his shield, he spends the next 5 years as a struggling private investigator. When a case falls across his desk, Johnny follows clue after clue that links not only his former police colleagues, but has ties to past murders, a cover-up involving a state senator, and a large drug cartel that wants him dead. Follow the adventures of Johnny Gunn from Trinity Heart Media. Imagine having a dog that responds to every command, one that comes when called, calmly greets you and your guests at the door, and is a joy to be around. Well, now you can. Sit Means Sit Dog Training of Reno has been providing customers with quality dog training services for over 10 years. Let our staff of certified professional trainers use the latest and greatest scientific methods to get the best out of your dog. From potty training puppies to solving the most demanding behavioral problems, Sit Means Sit is the answer. Call now for your free consultation.
Cleaning, laundry, dusting. When does it end? Shannon's is here to help. Shannon's experienced cleaners work from your list and do many household chores, including laundry, ironing, vacuuming, and errands. They clean offices too. Shannon's has gone green with H2O at home, natural and organic products. Shannon's is personalized home cleaning.
Hi, I'm Patty Elam. One phone call to Shannon's and all your cleaning is done.
Wow, what kind of mascara are you using?
I'm not wearing any. I have eyelash extensions on from the Eyelash Connection.
Eyelash extensions?
They're semi-permanent lash extensions applied like hair extensions. They take a single lash and adhere it to your own, giving you a full set of lashes. Your original lashes aren't damaged because they use single lashes, not flares. Plus, Eyelash Connection also offers beauty treatments like microdermabrasion, Brazilian waxing, facials, and more.
Okay, where are you going? To the Eyelash Connection.
Welcome back to Auction Archaeologist.
This gentleman, Albert Duke, was a hero of World War II, a flyer with B-25 Mitchell bomber. And the governor of Maryland was so thrilled with his contributions to fighting the war against the Nazis that he presented him with this beautiful Walker Colt revolver, details of which, along with its holster, are provided near the bottom. And this display is the sort of thing that a collector will take to a trade show, and it really tells the whole story in some detail of this exquisite revolver. We feel that the Walker Colt 1044 belonged to a Texas Ranger, and that information is still being researched. In fact, I believe in the upper left corner, that's the gentleman who was the Ranger, and his name was Lamb, and this holster has Lamb embossed on it. Usually these guns were issued in pairs, and they were carried on the saddle because each gun weighs about 4 pounds 9 ounces empty. Another treasure that Fred Halliburtt Auctions has for imminent sale is serial number 1044. It's a Walker Colt, of which only 1,100 were manufactured in 1847, 1,000 of which went to the United States Ordnance for issuing to the cavalry, known as the Dragoons, or the United States Mounted Riflemen, and 100 were serial numbered separately from 1,000 on up to be distributed by Samuel Colt to officers and to civilians. And the history of this particular revolver suggests that it belonged to a gentleman named Lamb, who was a Texas Ranger. And the information on that is still in the research phase. This was the first practical Colt revolver, 44 caliber, which means it's nearly a half an inch bullet in diameter. It's designed so the barrel could be removed, the cylinder could be removed, and here's the basic mechanism in this breech. These were issued normally as pairs, even the civilian revolvers, and it was like today's 44 Magnum. The barrel is 9 inches long, and the gun was accurate up to about 200 yards. They were carried by Texas Rangers and by the U.S. Mounted Riflemen, and during the Mexican War, this was the ultimate weapon used in pairs by people like Captain Jack Hayes, later Colonel Jack Hayes, who was with the Texas Volunteer Cavalry, and later became the first sheriff of San Francisco, California. The gun is on what's called ready to fire on full cock, and you put percussion caps on the little nipples, and when the hammer falls, the flames come out the barrel and the bullet is on its way. This is the loading lever, which is secured by a small spring, and the loading operation was by pulling it back halfway, and then you load the powder and ball in and press it in, and then you put grease over the front. Otherwise, when you fire it, the possibility is that the flames will spread from the muzzle and go to neighboring chambers, and it'll all go off at once. A gun like this today is valued at somewhere usually about $100,000 on up. The record price for a Walker Colt at auction is about $950,000.
Today I learned the .44 caliber Walker was no gentleman's sidearm, but rather a nearly 5-pound horse pistol to be holstered in pairs on a saddle pommel. Once Walker said, "It's as efficient as a common rifle at 200 yards, and unlike these less powerful Pattersons, one hit could readily down a man or a horse."
Come to the Hollabird Auction and Show, Reno, Nevada, May 13th and 14th, 2016, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. Bid on antique firearms, Indian artifacts, shipwreck gold, guns once owned by Custer, Black Kettle, Texas Rangers, and other notables. See you there.
55 here, now 60. 55 here, now 60. 55 in the room.
We know what you want. You want quality custom embroidery and branding from a local, family-owned company that can get the job done at a good price. That's what you'll find at Miller's Jackets and Jose and Associates. For more than 26 years, we have been the go-to local silk screening and embroidery expert. Clothing, caps, pens, banners, and small signs are our specialty. And at Jose and Associates, there's a sale every day, exactly what you would expect from a locally owned, family-operated business. We're located at 950 Glendale Avenue in Sparks. Come on in and realize the difference a local company can make.
For over 100 years, Northern Nevadans have slept in comfort with the help of Reno Mattress Company. Hi, I'm Mike Berry. Can you flip your mattress? If not, let us custom make your next mattress. We offer Talalay latex rubber, memory foam mattresses, foam rubber cut to size, water beds and accessories, electrical adjustable beds, and more. Plus, we specialize in custom sizes for your home or RV. Reno Mattress Company has been the place to shop since 1910. Come visit our showroom at 1210 East 4th Street. And remember, if you sleep on it, we can make it.
I know you've heard this before. I will stand on my head. I'll kick my dog's spot to sell you used appliances today. You can drop off your old stuff here when you purchase a new item from us. Call us at 775-682-1994 and ask us about service and parts. Come on down to more stuff. We got new appliances, we got used appliances. We will make you a deal today. Go see Tony, go see Tony, go see Tony. Woohoo!
Join us next week on Auction Archaeologist when Mr. R.L. Wilson tells us more about Samuel Colt and Colt firearms. See you then.